Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joe Hendy, the Android Authority app guy, and welcome back to another episode of Google Play Weekly. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about the sequel to Flappy Bird, a PC classic coming to Android, and a little bit of controversy. So let's get started. First up this week is a wallpaper application that made headlines thanks to its material design. It's a wallpaper application called Wally, and there really isn't all that much to say about it. It offers a large number of wallpapers through wallbase.cc, which seems to have a pretty loyal following. What I found interesting though was how material design took what was a functional but boring application and made it more enjoyable to look at and to use, and that makes me excited to see more material design apps in the future. Next up is an application that's essentially just a digital pimp for strippers. The application is called Clover, and it does pretty much what I just said it does. It's a service much like Uber that allows consumers to browse strippers by a variety of categories, including gender. Once you've found what you like, you can then have them sent to the location of your choosing to perform. The Uber business model seems to be working well enough to extend into the adult entertainment industry, and it's going to be entertaining to see how well it does there. While we're on the topic of potentially controversial applications, a judge in Brazil has ordered Google and Apple to remove the application Secret from users' smartphones. You may have heard of it before. The application is called Secret, and it's an anonymous social media app that lets people spill secrets anonymously. The app has been officially outlawed in Brazil, and a judge there has actually ordered Google and Apple to remove the application from people's devices remotely. Believe it or not, Google and Apple can actually do this, but they usually reserve it for removing things like malicious software. Neither Google or Apple have responded to the demand just yet, but they do have a few days to mull it over before they start getting fined. Okay, let's get back to some good news. Firefox currently has Chromecast support in its nightly builds. I say that because their nightly version actually does currently have Chromecast support, which was added this last week. If you really want to, you can always go sign up for the Firefox nightlies and get it right now, but if you're patient, it should make its way to the regular Firefox sooner rather than later. At this point, it's just working out the bugs and preparing it for the stable release. And to end our news segment this week, let's take a look at what Google updated this week. Google Sheets got an update that improved how the app handles Microsoft documents, as well as general performance and formatting improvements. An update to Google Drive added the activity stream that you can commonly see in the Google Drive website. It was a pretty quiet week for Google, but given the last few weeks, we knew a slower week was coming eventually. So who wants to see some trending applications? As usual, if you want to check any of these applications out, you can find the links in the written companion, which is in the video description below. Ignore No More is an application that made waves this last week because it was developed by a housewife who got sick of her kids not returning her phone calls. The premise is easy. You have a parent account and you can add your kids as child accounts. If you try to get a hold of them and they don't answer, you can remotely lock their device until they call you back. It's a great tool for parents, but kids are probably not going to like it so much. Surgeon Simulator is a game that's new on Android, but an old favorite on PC. In this game, you play a surgeon who must perform operations on people in the line of general medicine and dentistry. You essentially just perform the surgery while keeping the patient alive. However, thanks to the loose gameplay, you can have some macabre fun with this game. It's a tad expensive, but it's pretty fun. Swing Copters is the spiritual successor to the wildly popular Flappy Bird game that was made popular and subsequently killed off earlier this year. If you were hoping for something different, you're going to be disappointed, but if you were hoping for pretty much the same thing but horizontal instead of vertical, you're going to love this game. There's a free and a paid version, but otherwise what you see is pretty much what you get. Microsoft OneNote received a pretty substantial update this last week that includes new handwriting recognition and a tablet-optimized UI. The handwriting recognition is a fun feature and you can write with a stylus or your finger, but by far the more interesting part is the tablet UI, because one common complaint with Microsoft applications are their lack of tablet support. Here's hoping this translates to more in the future. Last up this week is Blur. Blur is a launcher from the makers of Evolve SMS and Talent for Twitter that offers a Google Now launcher-style experience, but without Google Now. Instead, developers can create custom pages for their applications, and when users swipe to one side, their pages will show up alongside everybody else's instead of Google Now, like it does on the Google Now launcher. It's definitely a neat premise, and you can check it out right now for free. If you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest in Android news and reviews, I recommend going to AndroidAuthority.com, clicking on the little menu thingy, and heading to our apps section where you'll see our latest news, reviews, our Indie App of the Day segment, and our Meet the Dev segment. Once again, I'm Joe Hendy, the Android Authority App Guy. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you want to follow Android Authority, myself, or the rest of the video team, you can find our social media links in the video description below. If you're hanging out for a minute, we have a couple of awesome videos for you to watch right over there, and linked in the video description below for you folks on mobile. Finally, don't forget to check out the written companion in the video description below, because that's where you're going to find all of the download links. As always, thanks for watching everybody, and have a wonderful day.